Hi, Harry. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. It's nice to talk to you.
It's good to talk to you too.
Well, I know it's been a really busy time for you. In fact, even just judging by your Twitter posts, what I'm guessing is your life at this point is just a series of games that you have to miss seeing the Saints.
Oh man, it's rough.
It's a hard.
I mean, it is rough. I mean, when I do American Idol, when we do the judging, this year it's been on the weekends, right? So we go in for Saturday and we're there for 6-8 hours. Going for Sunday, 6-8 hours, and man, it's a terrible thing to admit, but I have to, sit up there and focus while my game is going on. It's awful. It's torture. And I can't watch. I mean, I love doing American Idol. I just wish it weren't right at the same time the Saints game is.
Right.
It's just so I have to usually TiVo it or watch it a little bit later.
I think that's what we call first world problems.
Exactly. It could be worse, man. It could be a lot worse.
No, seriously, though, with everything that you've got going on, how is it that you actually found time to do this record? Like, there must be an insane amount of scheduling that has to go into, like, setting time aside to write and then record, especially when there's travel involved, as you did.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, half of it was in Nashville and half of it was in London. And it's funny. I mean, a lot of the songs were written either in the studio or at my hotel the night before I went in the studio. So the songwriting part goes relatively quickly. The recording part, yeah, it takes a little while. But because I wasn't producing, that it was... I was very involved in the recording process, but then I would just listen to the mixes and make suggestions after. So, yeah, it takes a lot of scheduling to carve out a week here, a week there. But, fortunately, I have a great manager who I've been with for 30 years who's good at that kind of stuff, among other things.
Yeah. Do you find that your writing takes any hits or becomes harder to do when you are in these moments in your life when you have to, like, so much going on?
That's an interesting question. I don't know. I don't think it does, but I'm sure whatever I'm writing about is a direct result of stuff that happens or has happened to me. But I don't know how it manifests itself in the writing. Like, do I get creatively in a slump? Since I'm not writing every day of the year, no. Usually I kind of try to save it up and I don't write until it's time to do a record. And then it all comes out like floodgates were just opened. But I don't know how I know my life affects my writing. I'm just not sure how. Yeah. Other than, specific references I make to things that I've experienced.
Yeah. I know the perception on the outside is, you're in a time where it looks like a very good life. And I know the perceptions can be more we build them up more than they are, especially when we're looking at a star's life and everything. But, when I look around, I was like, you've got a really great record. You've got a life on TV. You've been doing movies. It's like, where's the heartache, man? How are you supposed to be an artist without heartache,
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, I don't think there's a person on this planet that has a life without heartache or pain. I'm not the type of person that chooses to broadcast things that cause me great pain. Sometimes they are evident in songs that I do. I mean, there's songs on this record that are some of the most heartbreaking topics I've ever sung about. So it's, one of the songs called Do You Really Need Her was written about a friend of mine whose daughter was killed at the Newtown shooting. Doesn't get more heartbreaking than that. So I think if you are interested enough to take a closer look, you'll see a spectrum of emotion in the songs, from great joy to great pain, and I think I'm lucky to be an artist where I can use music as a way to talk about those things.
Yeah, that song specifically, how did you approach that? Because what a sensitive subject and what a completely heartbreaking subject. I mean, I don't think there's a word in the English language as far as how heartbreaking that moment was. Like, how did you approach that to put that into a song?
Well, I was sitting in the room with my buddy Egg over there in London, and we were talking about the tragedy and senselessness of that event, and I was thinking how differently I would have reacted than my friend Jimmy, whose daughter it was. He accepted it with incredible grace and faith. And I was saying I think I would have yelled at God for taking her from me. And because Jimmy said on the day that she died, he said that, God needed her now. And I just was fascinated by how he could find that type of strength in such a time of tragedy. And so it's about a guy who would have reacted differently. And it's basically a guy who's angry with God, saying, did you really need her? Now, most people would say God doesn't kill people. Well, that's not what the song's about. It's about a guy who's angry with God for his current situation, right or wrong. That's his sort of knee-jerk reaction. And that's how the song came about.
Yeah. Has your friend heard the song?
He has. It was very difficult for me to sort of tell him that that's what I wanted to do, and ask him his permission to put it on the record, and also ask him if it was okay to talk about it. And he was okay with everything. He's an extremely open, honest guy, and I think anything that will bring light to his daughter's memory, he embraces, as well as his wife Nelva. And so they were very appreciative, and I'm just honored to call this guy my friend, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a beautiful story to go along with the beautiful song too.
Thank you.
And trying to get out of the darkness, there's plenty of lightness on this record. I don't want to make it seem like it's a dark record. In fact, three of my favorites, You Don't Need a Man, Where Prisoners Drown, which has got that great odd time signature thing going on.
Thanks for noticing that.
Yeah, and then Right Where It Hurts, which is like, the word I have down here is spastastic. Like that.
What did you call it?
Spastastic.
That song probably wasn't going to go on the record, and that was one of my favorite tunes. It's like a combination of like Mardi Gras and disco somehow. It's hard to describe, and I had so much fun. We laughed so hard making that song, me and Egg over in England, that I really wanted it to be on there. So that's actually one of my favorites too.
Yeah, it's great. And I'll tell you, to be honest, when you look at an artist and big things start happening, like, so you land on American Idol, and you start wondering how this will affect, we start wondering how this will affect your career. If like, oh, is he going to have to play it safer now that he's speaking to a bigger audience or something like that? And then I hear a song like that, and I was like, no, dude's still doing what he wants to do.
Yeah, and man, I think ultimately that's what we all want, right? I mean, we all have responsibilities, but there's no greater feeling than getting up in the morning and realizing that I have music to make, and I'm just lucky to be able to do it. I mean, that's the bottom line. And no matter what happens, good or bad, successful or unsuccessful, as long as I have the chance to go in and keep playing, I'm good to go.
Well, I think you had a great shot of success at the gates from this one. In fact, you've talked about your producers, and I know it's already been talked about a lot with Egg White and Butch Walker. But these are two guys that they live in the land of hits. That's what
right.
exists. And with you on doing American Idol as your other job, it would seem like the trick is to go in there and still make sure that you are yourself and that you're not getting sucked up into whatever world.
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And even they understand that. Like, there's certain things I won't do, right? Like, I don't believe in auto-tuning my voice. I think auto-tune is great for certain kinds of music, but I won't do it. That's what they do that all the time. And I said, look, we're not going to do that. Mm-hmm. When I went to play piano, I'd play certain things that they might have originally thought, oh, wait, that may not be right for the song. But then they realized, wait, this is Harry. This is what he does. It's impossible at this point in my life for me to be swayed by trend. I'm just not interested. I mean, I've been around too long. I have my own style. I love new things that are coming out, but you're not going to get me in the studio doing stuff for the sake of being different. Yeah. It's going to be stuff that I want to do that's different for me, but I'm not going to try to chase top 40 songs. That's just not who I am.
Yeah. With that said, and I probably know the answer given what you just said, but when I looked at the song "Trying to Matter," I started to wonder if that was a relevancy question.
It's really interesting you say that. I've never tried to matter with regard to like my career and being relevant. That's never actually crossed my mind. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just stupid. But that song title was said to me. I was on the set of Dolphin Tale, the movie.
Yeah,
And Chris
Son Loves.
Christopherson, you know the film?
Oh, we've seen it many, many times, both of them.
And Chris Christopherson, who plays my dad, came up to me on set one day, and we were talking. I said, "Chris, how you doing today?" He said, "Oh, I'm just sitting here trying to matter." And I kept that on the back of my mind as a great title and nothing else. And it's actually about a guy who ends up alone because all he wants is to matter to someone else without realizing that they have to matter to him too. And it was purely based off that phrase that Chris said. So it's not autobiographical by any means, but it's a fun song to do.
And actually, that's a nice seg right here. You know, a man, a master of country. You know, listening and reading and learning that I Do Like We Do started as a country song, but Jay Knowles, who is his own master of country, songwriting like that. How do you make a song like that your own? Because from what I get, you know, it starts as this country thing and you insert your own inflection. Does that come naturally for you, or do you have to say that can't be a country song, that's got to be this other thing?
No, I mean, it came to me as a country song for sure. And I listened to it and looked at the lyrics just as lyrics as opposed to, you know, with a beat behind them or melody or groove. And I just liked what the lyrics said. And so I have no problem singing it like me. I have a big problem. I say this on Idol when I'm doing the auditions probably 10 times a day. You'll hear somebody that's from Minnesota come in and, I'm really glad to be here. And then they start singing in this real country when they sing. And I don't understand why people do that. I mean, if you're from Minnesota, sing like you're from Minnesota. Like, it's okay. So, I have an accent, I guess. People tell me it's a New Orleans accent, but I don't try to sing country. I just sing like I sing. And the song came out like it came out. So I'm not thinking of it really as I got to do a country song. I just did a tune. Now, Butch is country. I mean, but he's also pop, and that's what it sounds like. It sounds like a kind of a country pop tune, and it also sounds like a guy sitting on his back porch playing guitar, which is kind of what Butch does. Like he's just a down home country boy, yeah. And it sounds like when you listen to the song, it sounds like that. So we weren't trying to be anything. It just kind of happened.
Yeah, it's a great song, and I think what it proved to me was kind of what you're getting at too. It's not that genre makes it song. It's the
exactly
song, you know, and people put so much stock into genre. I mean, you look at the Taylor Swift Ryan Adams thing that's happening right now. Something that people would have written off as a pop thing if they weren't a fan of that. Ryan shows I can do the same songs in the style you like, and you'll still love it. You know,
well, that's a testament to the song too. I mean, you've heard great singers, over the years singing songs that were presented in different ways, and like the song "Love's Been Good to Me." Like you can listen to Johnny Cash sing it, and it sounds like a country tune. You listen to Frank Sinatra sing it, it sounds like a Frank tune. Yeah. And that's a testament to like I could rearrange the song and sing it with a trio, and it would be just as good. It's just a great song.
Yeah, it's certainly. And also big ups that you use the Watson twins on the background vocals. They're Louisville girls. They're from
Man, so. Let me tell you, these ladies came in there and they're incredible. Butch said, I got an idea for some background singers. And these two tall, beautiful women walked in and got in front of the mic, and I said, golly, man, where'd you find them? He said, oh, no, I've worked with them all the time. They're tremendous. They couldn't be nicer, and I was just thrilled to be in the studio when they were doing that.
Yeah, we love them to death. We got a long history. That Would Be Me is a fantastic record, and I want to congratulate you, and I want to thank you for putting it out into the world and still doing what you're doing. And congratulations on the daytime talk show, too.
Thank you, man. I'm excited. It's a very blessed time for me, and let me just thank you for not only supporting the record, but for getting it out there to all those listeners, man. It's a great feeling as an artist to put a new record out, and it would mean nothing if it weren't getting played and people didn't hear it. So thanks to you and your listeners. I really, really appreciate it.
We're excited about it too, Harry. Have yourself a great day, and we hope to see you around the Louisville parts again soon.
For sure, man. Thanks so much.
All right.